Introduction. Welcome to the Knowledge Journey, where we embark on a quest for wisdom and personal growth. As we delve into the depths of human experience and understanding, we encounter one fundamental truth. Life is not merely a series of events that happen to us, but rather it is defined by how we choose to respond to those events. Imagine for a moment the power of this realization. It shifts our perspective from being passive recipients of circumstance to active agents of our own destiny. This shift is encapsulated beautifully in the words of Epictetus, the Stoic philosopher. The essence of life is not what happens to you, but how you react to it. But what does it truly mean to react versus respond, and why does it matter? Join me on this journey as we explore the profound difference between reacting and responding. Together, we'll unravel the mysteries of human behavior and delve into the strategies for mastering life's challenges with grace and resilience. As we embark on this exploration, I invite you to reflect on your own experiences. How often do you find yourself reacting impulsively to the ups and downs of life? And what could change if you were to embrace the power of intentional response? Through heartfelt discussions, relatable anecdotes, and insights drawn from both philosophy and psychology, we'll uncover the transformative potential that lies within each of us. So buckle up and get ready for an adventure of the mind and soul. Welcome aboard the Knowledge Journey. Understanding the difference. Now that we've set sail on our knowledge journey, let's delve deeper into the concept of reacting versus responding. Imagine yourself in a situation where unexpected news catches you off guard. Your immediate reaction might be one of shock, frustration, or even anger. These knee-jerk responses are natural human instincts, wired into our brains as a means of survival. However, what sets us apart as conscious beings is our capacity to transcend these primal reactions and choose a more deliberate course of action. This is where the distinction between reacting and responding becomes crucial. Reacting is like being tossed about on the turbulent waves of emotion, where our actions are driven by impulsivity and instinct. It's the proverbial knee-jerk reaction that often leads to regrettable outcomes. On the other hand, responding is akin to navigating those same choppy waters with a steady hand on the rudder. It involves pausing, reflecting, and choosing our actions thoughtfully based on reason and values. Research in psychology has shown that our ability to respond rather than react is closely linked to emotional intelligence. Studies have demonstrated that individuals with higher emotional intelligence exhibit greater resilience, empathy, and problem-solving skills. By cultivating this emotional intelligence, we can become more adept at managing our reactions and steering our lives in the direction we desire. So, as we continue our journey, let's ponder. How often do we allow ourselves to be swept away by the currents of emotion, and how might our lives change if we were to embrace the power of intentional response? Join me as we explore the strategies for cultivating mindfulness, building emotional intelligence, and mastering the art of response in the face of life's inevitable challenges. The power of response. As we navigate the turbulent seas of life, the power of intentional response becomes our guiding light amidst the storm. Picture yourself in a situation where tensions are running high, perhaps in a heated argument with a loved one or facing a challenging setback at work. In these moments, our natural inclination may be to react impulsively, driven by emotions that cloud our judgment. Yet, what if we were to pause, take a deep breath, and choose our response consciously? Studies in psychology have shown that this deliberate act of response can have profound effects on our well-being and relationships. Research conducted by Dr. Daniel Goleman, a renowned psychologist, has highlighted the importance of emotional intelligence in shaping our responses to life's challenges. By honing our emotional intelligence, we can enhance our ability to regulate our emotions, empathize with others, and make more informed decisions. But the power of response extends beyond the realm of psychology. In the field of neuroscience, studies have revealed the remarkable plasticity of the human brain, demonstrating our capacity to rewire neural pathways through intentional practice. This means that with consistent effort and mindfulness, we can train ourselves to respond more skillfully to life's ups and downs. So the next time you find yourself faced with adversity, remember the power that lies within you to choose your response. As we journey together, let's explore the transformative potential of intentional response and the profound impact it can have on our lives. Join me as we uncover the secrets to mastering the art of response and navigating life's challenges with grace and resilience. Recognizing triggers. As we journey further into the realm of intentional response, it's crucial to shine a light on the role of triggers in shaping our reactions. Triggers are like hidden landmines scattered throughout our daily lives, waiting to detonate and send us spiraling into reactive mode. They can take many forms, perhaps a certain tone of voice, a familiar scent, or a specific memory that stirs up unresolved emotions. But here's the thing about triggers. They only have power over us if we allow them to. By cultivating awareness and mindfulness, we can learn to recognize these triggers for what they are, simply patterns of conditioned response, and reclaim control over our reactions. Think back to a recent situation where you found yourself reacting impulsively. What was the trigger that set off your emotional response? Was it a perceived slight from a colleague? A past trauma resurfacing in the present moment? By shining a light on these triggers, we can begin to unravel the patterns that keep us trapped in reactive cycles. One powerful technique for recognizing triggers is journaling. Take a few moments each day to reflect on your experiences, noting any recurring themes or patterns that emerge. This simple practice can help you gain insight into your emotional landscape and empower you to respond more skillfully to life's challenges. As we continue our journey, let's embrace the power of awareness and mindfulness in recognizing and disarming our triggers. By doing so, we can pave the way for a more intentional and authentic way of being in the world. Join me as we explore practical strategies for identifying and managing triggers, freeing ourselves from the grip of reactive patterns, and stepping into the fullness of our potential. Cultivating mindfulness. As we journey through the depths of self-discovery, mindfulness emerges as a beacon of light, guiding us towards greater clarity and presence in each moment. But what exactly is mindfulness, and how does it relate to our ability to respond intentionally? At its core, mindfulness is the practice of being fully present and engaged with whatever is happening in the here and now, without judgment or attachment. It invites us to anchor ourselves in the present moment, observing our thoughts, emotions, and sensations with curiosity and compassion. Imagine yourself sitting in meditation, focusing your attention on the sensation of your breath as it flows in and out of your body. In this moment, there is no past to regret, no future to worry about, only the simple act of breathing, moment by moment. Research in neuroscience has shed light on the transformative effects of mindfulness on the brain. Studies conducted by Dr. Sarah Lazar at Harvard University have shown that regular mindfulness practice can lead to structural changes in the brain, including increased gray matter density in regions associated with attention, emotion regulation, and empathy. But mindfulness is not just a passive state of being. It's also a powerful tool for cultivating intentional response. By bringing awareness to our thoughts and emotions, we create space between stimulus and response, allowing us to choose our actions more consciously. So, How can we cultivate mindfulness in our daily lives? It begins with simple practices such as meditation, mindful breathing, and body scan exercises. As we deepen our practice, we can expand our mindfulness to include everyday activities such as eating, walking, and even washing the dishes. Join me as we explore the transformative power of mindfulness in cultivating intentional response and living with greater presence and authenticity. Together, let's embark on a journey of self-discovery and inner exploration, one mindful breath at a time. Building emotional intelligence. As we continue our exploration of intentional response, let's turn our attention to the concept of emotional intelligence. Often referred to as EQ, emotional intelligence encompasses a range of skills that enable us to recognize, understand, and manage our own emotions, as well as navigate the emotions of others. Think of emotional intelligence as the compass that guides us through the complexities of human interaction. It allows us to tune into the subtle nuances of emotions, discerning between anger and frustration, sadness and disappointment. By honing our emotional intelligence, we can cultivate greater empathy, resilience, and interpersonal effectiveness. But how do we go about building emotional intelligence? It begins with self-awareness, the foundation upon which all other aspects of emotional intelligence are built. Take a moment to reflect on your own emotional landscape. What are your triggers? How do you typically respond to stress or conflict? By shining a light on our own emotional patterns, we can begin to cultivate greater self-awareness and self-regulation. Next comes empathy, the ability to understand and resonate with the emotions of others. Imagine yourself in the shoes of a friend or colleague who is going through a difficult time. How would you feel in their situation? What words of comfort or support would you offer? By practicing empathy, we can deepen our connections with others and foster a sense of mutual understanding and compassion. Research in psychology has demonstrated the myriad benefits of emotional intelligence in both personal and professional contexts. Studies have shown that individuals with higher levels of emotional intelligence tend to have better mental health, stronger relationships, and greater job satisfaction. So, as we journey forward, let's embrace the power of emotional intelligence in cultivating intentional response. By sharpening our awareness, empathy, and self-regulation, we can navigate the complexities of human emotion with grace and wisdom. Join me as we explore practical strategies for building emotional intelligence and unlocking the full potential of our interpersonal relationships. Practicing pause and reflection. As we journey deeper into the realm of intentional response, it becomes increasingly clear that the key lies not just in how we react in the moment, but in the pause that precedes our response. Picture yourself in a heated conversation, emotions running high and words flying fast. In moments like these, the impulse to react immediately can be overpowering. Yet, it is precisely in these moments that the power of pause and reflection becomes most potent. The practice of pause involves taking a moment to step back, breathe, and center ourselves before responding. It's about creating space between stimulus and response, allowing us to respond from a place of clarity and intention rather than reacting impulsively. But how do we cultivate the habit of pause in our daily lives? It begins with mindfulness, the anchor that grounds us in the present moment. By incorporating mindfulness practices such as meditation, deep breathing, or body scan exercises into our daily routine, we can train our minds to pause and reflect, even in the midst of chaos. Reflection, on the other hand, involves taking the time to consider our thoughts, feelings, and intentions before taking action. It's about asking ourselves questions like, what am I feeling right now? What triggered this emotional response? How do I want to show up in this situation? Research in psychology has shown that the practice of pause and reflection can lead to more thoughtful decision-making and improved emotional regulation. Studies have found that individuals who engage in regular reflection tend to have greater self-awareness, better communication skills, and stronger relationships. So, as we navigate the ups and downs of life, let's embrace the power of pause and reflection in cultivating intentional response. By taking the time to pause, breathe, and reflect before reacting, we can harness the full potential of our humanity and bring greater peace and harmony into our lives. Join me as we explore practical strategies for incorporating pause and reflection into our daily routine, unlocking the transformative power of intentional response. Real-life examples. As we navigate the intricate terrain of intentional response, real-life examples serve as guiding stars, illuminating the path ahead and demonstrating the transformative power of conscious choice. Consider the story of Viktor Frankl, a Holocaust survivor who found himself imprisoned in a concentration camp during World War II. Despite facing unimaginable suffering and loss, Frankl discovered a profound truth: that even in the darkest of circumstances, he still possessed the power to choose his response. In his seminal work, Man's Search for Meaning, Frankl writes, "Everything can be taken from a man, but one thing, the last of the human freedoms, to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances, to choose one's own way." Through his unwavering commitment to finding meaning and purpose amidst the horrors of the Holocaust, Frankl demonstrated the resilience of the human spirit and the transformative potential of intentional response. Closer to home, perhaps you can recall a personal experience where you were faced with a challenging situation and had to make a choice between reacting impulsively or responding intentionally. Maybe it was a disagreement with a friend or a setback at work. In those moments, how did you choose to show up? What were the consequences of your choice? By reflecting on these real-life examples, we gain insight into the power of intentional response to shape our lives and relationships. We see that even in the face of adversity, we have the ability to choose our response, to rise above our circumstances, and to chart our own course. So as we journey harnessing the power of choice, as our journey unfolds, it becomes increasingly evident that intentional response is not just a passive act of acceptance, but an active choice that we make each day. It's about taking ownership of our thoughts, emotions, and actions, and recognizing that we have the power to shape our lives in meaningful ways. Imagine yourself standing at a crossroads, faced with a decision that will profoundly impact your future. In this moment, you have a choice: to react impulsively, driven by fear or anger, or to respond intentionally, guided by wisdom and values. Research in psychology has shown that our ability to make conscious choices is closely linked to our sense of agency, the belief that we have control over our own lives. Studies have found that individuals who perceive themselves as having high levels of agency tend to be more resilient, adaptable, and successful in achieving their goals. But cultivating a sense of agency requires more than just making decisions. It requires a fundamental shift in mindset. It's about moving from a victim mentality, where we feel powerless and at the mercy of external forces, to a creator mentality, where we recognize our inherent capacity to shape our own destiny. So, how do we cultivate a sense of agency in our lives? It begins with reframing our mindset and embracing the belief that we are the architects of our own reality. It involves setting clear intentions, taking proactive steps towards our goals, and learning from our mistakes along the way. As we continue our journey, let's harness the power of choice in cultivating intentional response. Let's embrace the belief that we are not merely bystanders in our own lives, but active participants in the unfolding story of our existence. Join me as we explore practical strategies for cultivating agency, making conscious choices, and stepping boldly into the fullness of our potential. Embracing growth mindset. As we delve deeper into the realm of intentional response, it's essential to cultivate a growth mindset, a belief that our abilities and intelligence can be developed through dedication and hard work. Unlike a fixed mindset, which views talents and capabilities as innate and unchangeable, a growth mindset recognizes that with effort and perseverance, we can continuously learn, grow, and improve. Think of a time when you faced a challenge or setback that tested your resolve. Did you approach it with a fixed mindset, believing that your abilities were limited and immutable? Or did you adopt a growth mindset, viewing the experience as an opportunity for learning and growth? Research in psychology has shown that individuals with a growth mindset tend to be more resilient, adaptable, and successful in overcoming obstacles. Studies conducted by Dr. Carol Dweck at Stanford University have found that students who embrace a growth mindset are more likely to persevere in the face of failure, seek out constructive feedback, and ultimately achieve higher levels of success. But cultivating a growth mindset requires more than just positive thinking. It requires a willingness to embrace challenges, learn from feedback, and persist in the face of adversity. It's about reframing failure not as a sign of incompetence, but as a stepping stone on the path to mastery. So, how do we cultivate a growth mindset in our own lives? It begins with reframing our internal dialogue, replacing self-limiting beliefs with empowering affirmations. Instead of saying, "I'm not good at this," try saying, "I haven't mastered this yet, but I'm willing to put in the effort to improve." As we continue our journey, let's embrace the power of a growth mindset in cultivating intentional response. Let's recognize that our potential is not fixed, but limitless, and that with dedication and perseverance, we can achieve extraordinary feats. Join me as we explore practical strategies for fostering a growth mindset, overcoming self-imposed limitations, and unlocking the fullness of our potential. The role of practice and persistence. As we journey further into the realm of intentional response, we encounter the undeniable truth that mastery requires practice and persistence. It's not enough to simply understand the principles of intentional response. We must actively engage in the process of applying them in our daily lives, refining our skills through repetition and dedication. Think of intentional response as a muscle that grows stronger with each repetition. Just as an athlete must train diligently to excel in their sport, so too must we train our minds to respond intentionally in the face of life's challenges. It's about committing to a process of continuous improvement, embracing discomfort and uncertainty as opportunities for growth. But why is practice and persistence so essential in cultivating intentional response? Research in psychology has shown that deliberate practice, the act of engaging in focused, purposeful practice with the goal of improving specific skills, is the key to mastery in any domain. Studies have found that individuals who engage in deliberate practice tend to outperform their peers and achieve higher levels of success. Moreover, persistence, the steadfast commitment to pursuing our goals despite obstacles and setbacks, is what ultimately separates those who succeed from those who fall short. It's about adopting a growth mindset and viewing failure not as a roadblock, but as a stepping stone on the path to mastery. So, how do we cultivate a practice of intentional response in our daily lives? It begins with setting clear intentions and committing to small, actionable steps towards our goals. It involves creating a supportive environment that fosters growth and learning, surrounding ourselves with mentors and peers who inspire and challenge us. As we continue our journey, let's embrace the role of practice and persistence in cultivating intentional response. Let's recognize that mastery is not achieved overnight, but through consistent effort and dedication. Join me as we explore practical strategies for integrating deliberate practice and persistence into our lives, unlocking the full potential of intentional response and embracing the journey of self-discovery and growth. celebrating progress, not perfection. As we near the conclusion of our exploration into intentional response, it's important to remember that the journey is just as significant as the destination. In our quest for mastery, it's easy to become fixated on perfection, striving tirelessly to achieve flawless execution in every aspect of our lives. However, this relentless pursuit of perfection can often lead to feelings of frustration, self-doubt, and burnout. Instead, let's shift our focus towards celebrating progress, the small victories and incremental improvements that signify growth and development. Research in positive psychology has shown that acknowledging and celebrating our progress can have profound effects on our well-being and motivation. Studies have found that individuals who adopt a growth mindset and focus on progress tend to experience greater levels of happiness, fulfillment, and resilience. So, how do we cultivate a mindset of progress over perfection in our lives? It begins with reframing our definition of success, recognizing that true success is not about achieving flawlessness, but about embracing our imperfections and learning from our mistakes. It involves setting realistic goals, breaking them down into manageable steps, and celebrating each milestone along the way. Moreover, it's about cultivating self-compassion, the ability to treat ourselves with kindness and understanding, especially in the face of setbacks and failures. Research has shown that individuals who practice self-compassion are more resilient in the face of adversity, less prone to anxiety and depression, and more motivated to pursue their goals. As we reflect on our journey into intentional response, let's celebrate the progress we've made and the growth we've experienced along the way. Let's recognize that true mastery is not about achieving perfection, but about embracing the process of continuous improvement and self-discovery. Join me in embracing a mindset of progress over perfection, and let's continue our journey with courage, resilience, and a sense of joy and fulfillment. Embracing the journey. As we conclude our exploration into intentional response, let us take a moment to reflect on the journey we've embarked upon together. Throughout this endeavor, we've delved into the depths of our minds, uncovering the power of intentional response and the transformative impact it can have on our lives. We've learned that intentional response is not merely a concept to be understood intellectually, but a practice to be embraced wholeheartedly. It requires courage, resilience, and a willingness to confront our fears and limitations head-on. It's about taking ownership of our thoughts, emotions, and actions, and consciously choosing how we engage with the world around us. But perhaps most importantly, we've discovered that intentional response is not a destination to be reached, but a journey to be embraced. It's about embracing the process of growth and self-discovery, recognizing that true mastery is found not in perfection, but in the pursuit of excellence. As we bid farewell to this chapter of our journey, let us carry forward the lessons we've learned and the insights we've gained. Let us continue to cultivate a growth mindset, celebrate our progress, and embrace the beauty of imperfection. And above all, let us remember that the journey of intentional response is not a solitary one. We are all in this together, supporting and uplifting one another along the way. Thank you for joining me on this adventure into the heart of intentional response. May we continue to walk this path with courage, compassion, and a sense of wonder, knowing that the greatest adventures are still yet to come.